Hello guys, this is your Uncle Big Fish, and on this video we're gonna be talking about the artillery. Now for this one, I will be talking first about what I think about this class and some fun facts. In my opinion, this artillery is arguably one of, if not the number one damage dealer in the game. I think this class have the highest amount of damage possible to get dished out in a 5-second period. It just deals a lot of damage, guys. It deals a lot of damage very quickly. And if you are looking for a class that actually deals a lot of damage, more than anything else, this is the class for you. However, there are some things that you need to know, and that's the fact that this class is very squishy. It's in fact so squishy that even with 100,000 HP, a lot of HP investment, and this is, well, it's not a lot of HP investment, but it's a pretty decent amount of HP investment. It's got 1352 physique, and it's just got a lot of HP. But if you see here, the HP stat is still fucking low. And the reason why that is because this class is very squishy, and that is gonna be pretty much the only downside that I see. So you do need something to actually hold the enemy still while you're dealing damage. You can walk and shoot at the same time, which is one of the best qualities of this class. So you can actually attack while walking, or attack while running, and that is actually one of the strongest things about this class in my opinion. So if we go here to training ground, you can see that I can actually shoot while I'm running. This is like super crazy, honestly. This is like you can attack while running. The attacks come very, very fast, guys. That's like super fast. Yeah, that's like 4 hits in under a second. Look at that. Yeah, absolutely insane. Very insane stuff, guys. Real talk here, that's just insane. Alright, so now to talk about this much further, I'm gonna be explaining what the skills do, and we'll go on through the builds and all that, okay? So first, let's talk about the skills. Well, we don't need to talk about the archer skills, but as usual, as the other classes, you don't want to take this because you have an upgraded version over here, and you can't use both at the same time. So this one can just be left alone. The bonus passives are pretty much the same, yeah? Rising kick, aerial evasion, and telegnostic strike. So after you do a perfect dodge, you will get 200% damage equal to your attack as bonus damage. Next is about the Bowmaster's build. Now for this one, just for this instance, we're gonna be talking about just the water build. So we have this, which is Archery Revolution. This is gonna be your ultimate. It deals a lot of damage, guys. 1,208% damage. And if you have 10 stacks of Magic Chaos, which I'll be explaining in just a bit, you will do 230% extra attack damage. So this thing actually hurts, guys, a lot. Okay, this thing hurts a lot. And you can further decrease that by going for a focus shot, because this thing it has a 20% reduction of cooldown. But the damage is very disappointing. It just doesn't do anything. And in hindsight, yeah, that's the whole reason to why we are not actually using this skill. Next will be the skill Speed Shot. Now the Speed Shot is going to be one of the skills that you're going to be using. This is going to be your main stab. This is going to be the skill that you'll be using most of the time. It deals very decent amount of damage, and if you see here, each hit inflicts 1 stack of Magic Chaos. So that's actually very strong, yeah? Magic Chaos. Take 6% damage every 2 seconds. Stacks up to 10 times, moving up to 60% damage with each stack lasting 12 seconds. So you have to reapply the Magic Chaos after, well, within 12 seconds. to get the next stack. You can't crit during Magic Chaos as well. So that's good to that's a really good reminder. Okay, next one will be your buff, Eagle's Wrath. Increase your and your teammates' critical hit chance. So this class by default has 15% critical hit chance buff. So this thing crits more often. Plus it has this, which is probably exactly the same as other classes. Yeah, 10% damage buff. I think it's the same. Next skill is gonna be this one, Aim. Now the skill Aim comes with a bonus. So this one, if you when you use the skill, you will get 15% boost to all damage for 10 seconds. So this is pretty much just another this. Pretty much, yeah. You get like another 10% bonus damage. So yeah, guys, this class have a lot of bonus damage, if you guys realize. A lot of them. Next is gonna be Triangle Attack. Unleash a barrage of arrows into the distance, sometime following the use of Swift Dodge. The action can be interrupted by the enemy. So this one is actually pretty simple. What you can be doing is what I've shown you when we first started with the video. You can actually use Dodge Cancel with your auto attack, and what's gonna happen is something that looks like this. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now next one's gonna be this skill, Speed Arrow. What does this do? Well, shoot arrows all around you. That's it. It has no branches. I mean, it has no it has no elements, so I don't even know why it's here in the first place, but oh well. Alright, next one's gonna be this one, Tracking Arrow. Fire enemy tracking arrows that explode on contact, dealing damage to surrounding enemies. Inflict 1 stack of magic chaos upon hit. So if you realize here, the skill Tracking Arrow, and then your aim and your speed shot, they all inflict magic chaos. Now this magic chaos will boost the damage of Archery Revolution. Alright, I'm just gonna be doing this so I can get the stacks up. Now those stacks, those blacky stacks, is magic chaos, and once that happens, you can cast your ult. This is gonna deal more damage. The amount of damage that this thing does is actually quite insane, guys. It's quite insane, yeah. This thing's damage is very, very crazy, guys. Very, very crazy damage. Here, okay, Explosive Arrow. Now on this one, fire arrow that explodes shortly after contact, dealing damage to nearby enemies as well. So this is more of an AoE skill. This thing does have pretty good damage. And Water Elemental Enhancement, increase arrow explosion area and damage, 12% reduction on the cooldown of archery. So Archery Revolution is gonna be your ultimate, guys. So when you use this, you actually gain cooldown reduction for your ultimate, which will deal a lot of damage in the long run. It's quite insane. So after about let's see, this skill on itself has 30-second cooldowns, so it's pretty long. But for every one of your casts, you're buying time for about 6 seconds or so. 6 seconds or so for your ultimate. So that's actually quite interesting. Like, if you put it that way, it means you can actually have after about 10 uses of Explosive Arrow, you pretty much have a free ultimate to use. In hindsight, it's like that across, obviously, well, 10 minutes or so. Next, let's talk about the bonuses now. 12% reduction in the cooldown of Archery Revolution, and increase the arrow explosion as well as damage of Explosive Arrow. So if you see here, the water one deals 4 to 9, but if you don't have the water imbue, it's 426. So probably the difference is not too far. I would say it's not amazing or anything, but it's still significant. Next will be Elemental Barrage. Now Elemental Barrage is going to be your main stab. This thing has 30-second cooldown, super long, but it has one thing, and that is a lot of damage. Increase a barrage of magic orbs forwards, which explode one after another to deal great amounts of damage to the enemy and others in a large zone around them. Mild stiffness is also inflicted on all enemies within range. So this thing flinches people. That's all there is. It flinches people. It does a lot of damage. Alright? This thing also has 9% reduction of the archery revolution cooldown. So essentially speaking, you have 20-second reduction of this thing's cooldown. Now 20 seconds of 60% is gonna be around 12.5% if I recall correctly. So 12 seconds, guys, 12 seconds. This thing's cooldown is pretty close to probably only 48 seconds. It's not 60. Because you're getting, but just by using these two skills one after another, you reduce the cooldown by 12 seconds. So you have a pretty crazy cooldown reduction, guys. Insane stuff, yeah? Now, this one is pretty much the whole reason to why I think this artillery is very strong. One, you get to use your ultimate very often compared to a lot of different classes that don't have cooldown reduction. The attack speed of this class, just a sheer attacking speed, is just very fast, so you deal a lot of damage very quickly. To put it into comparison, this class hits 4 times in under a second. A class like Guardian needs basically 2 seconds or almost 3 to actually deal a full rotation of the hits, because he stops after each hit. This one doesn't. It just goes like pew 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 pew, very fast. Yeah, very fast stuff. So the damage comes very quickly. It also gains a lot of the current passive buffs, like damage enhancement. This one gives you 10% damage dealt bonus as well. So 10% from here, 10% from here. Here you go. So 15 on aim, 15 damage amplification. Then you get 10 from this, so that's 25. Then you get 10 from here. So that is gonna be 35% damage amplification plus 200% of magic chaos, which also amplifies your damage. So overall, you guys see that like this class have a lot of damage amplification in one way or the other. 1 is damage dealt bonuses, 2 is gonna be damage amplification, and 3 is gonna be your synergy with magic chaos, which amplifies the damage that you deal as well. So with all that combined, you are suddenly a class that deals a lot of damage, so much damage that is just very obnoxious for other people, especially for monsters, because they're just gonna dead. Yeah. So this class is absolutely crazy, and I think that this class has a lot of viability, especially in the current meta where everyone just pretty much focuses on monster killing. I would say this class is pretty okay in terms of PvP. If you have a lot of CP, you can be a damage dealer. You can be some of that like progress maker. You can hit towers during guild point contest and actually make progress that way. But I would say that this class's main power really shines in PvE. Killing bosses is this class's forte, 100%. Alright? Now, let's talk about the skill builds. Now, on this one is going to be this. This is going to be the skill build that we are currently rocking with. So, in hindsight, we have this skill, Speed Shot, and then we have Aim, right, to amplify the damage dealt. We also have, give me a second. We have this one, Tracking Arrow, which really helps to, well, deal more damage, because this thing actually gives you magic chaos. Yeah, this thing gives you magic chaos as well. And also the last slot will be on the last 2 skills, which will be Explosive Arrow and Elemental Barrage. This is going to be the last skills. Yeah. As for the buff skills, we are going to be using this and this, one for critical hit chance and one for damage amplification. And that is pretty much it, guys. Like in hindsight, that is pretty much it. The water build, in my opinion, is superior to the darker build in different ways. But one is it's just more painful in the long run. It has a lot more flexibility. The damage is more consistent, and that is the thing that I like the most. This is not a burst type class. This is a DOT slash semi burst type class. Lots of damage, but it deals damage over time that racks up into an even higher amount of damage. Now, let's talk about a couple more things about the class. Now, first, let's talk about the Soul Gem. For Soul Gem, you're going to be going for Fury almost every single time, because you're dealing damage. That's what you're good for, that's what you're used for. So you're going to be dealing damage. That's it. You're going to be using Fury. That's it. As for your Dragon Runes, you're going to be focusing mainly on water, as you can see here. And as for the next ones, let's see. For pets, you're going to be using Angel Elf. And the reason to why you're using this is because of its intelligence and final damage attribute. So the build for this one, this is gonna be the build from my friend Enil. Not really my friend, he's my brother. He's the channel's partner, guys. It's the name, The Adventures of Big Fish and Enil, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about this one. Now, his build revolves mainly from his investment in intelligence and agility. Also, have you guys noticed something completely wrong here? This thing scales primarily of Agi, at least the skills. But why does he go mostly on intelligence? Why is that? And the reason for that is, guys, it's for the final damage stat. This final damage stat is your best friend. Because one, your magic chaos cannot crit. If you read here, critical hits are not possible with the above damage. So if you realize magic chaos cannot crit, so there's really not a lot of point in you getting critical damage. You can get critical hit to further boost your normal attacks and all that, but investing in final damage is just going to be better. It's just a better investment into your stat, because that not only affects your magic chaos, it also affects your normal attack. It just boosts pretty much every single thing that you have in your arsenal. And that's pretty much why we're going to be using this setup instead. This is going to be primarily an investment of final damage and critical hit, 80% to 20% investment. 80% investment of final damage and 20% on critical hit. That's about it. So the rest of the run is gonna be pretty much the same. For the stat build, there's gonna be a stat build, as you can see here, investment in critical hit and final damage. For your element, you'll be going fully water. For the skill set, you're gonna be using skills sets. There you go. It's gonna be aim, tracking arrow. What else? Speed shot. And then elemental barrage and explosive arrow. That's pretty much what you're going to be using. For buffs, you're going to be using both of these, the critical hit chance and also the agile wind too. This is going to be the stat spread of everything we're currently using. You do still have some extra skill points that you can use, but there's not really any point in that, so you can forget about that altogether. Alright, aside from that, that's pretty much it, guys.